Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Ned for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into our sad Thursday after like the second half of yesterday into the morning of today. It's Friday. Our sales, they fit all in this little container right here. I actually had like a couple of these sales when I was at the storage units. Or our eBay's been like super dead or slow right now. I'm expecting it to have a turnaround at some point, but upside, I try to look at the upside. First, the weather's finally a lot colder. It's been like all over the place here in Illinois, so it's been like hot, and then it'll switch over for a few hours. It's just been like every season, every few hours. So now it's finally cold. It feels like fall weather. So finally get to wear like sweaters and such. And then also because of less items selling, I get more time to organize and I get more time to list. And then it gives me a little bit of a break from the hecticness, but I'd rather have sales. All right. So first up right here is going to be a lot of 293 Thunderstone Quest. These are going to be board game cards. These are from the base game right there. They have a bunch of expansions. I just separated it into 3 different baggies because they couldn't fit into one in the container that I had at the storage unit. This is going to be a fantasy deck builder. This game has been recommended to me by a bunch of people, as well as like, oh, you've played these games, you should play this one. We have not played it yet, Annette and I, but I heard it's a good one. $9 for just some replacement cards. It's not like the complete set of base game cards. All right. Next up is going to be Lord of the Rings TCG. This is going to be a foil card called Relentless Charge. This is going to be the Decipher game right here. There's also the, I think it's Iron Crown Enterprises also does the Middle Earth CCG, which is worth a lot more. Never got this stuff. I missed a couple of auctions like last week. It went for too expensive, like a big lot. But yeah, people like to collect like the foils. I noticed I saw a lot of Lord of the Rings. People also just generically like Lord of the Rings. So sometimes they'll occasionally come in and pick up like a rare or something like Gandalf's staff and those types of cards. They have a lot of the pictures from the films. All right, this one ended up going for $5.99. I remember I got like a big lot. So it was actually in a box like this for like $75 last year at auction. So I've been selling the singles and some of the packs and stuff. So all right, next up is going to be a shirt. I don't deal with clothes normally. This is going to be a Dr. Seuss one. This is Horton Hears a Who right there. And this is a medium adult size shirt. We got a bunch of these for free. Annetta listed all of the Dr. Seuss shirts, and they're just like in a bin underneath all of my shipping supplies. So when they do sell, I have to like dig it out, but it's not a big deal. $11.99. So that's pretty cool. Someone's going to appreciate the Dr. Seuss. I have no idea like where the popularity of Dr. Seuss is right now, or like who reads the books or which ones are rare and stuff like that. So no clue on that end. I obviously, one of my first books I read when I was 4 or whatever was the Motherbird Dr. Seuss book. All right, super random fact today. All right, next up is going to be these Raging Heroes. These are going to be some snipers. So I got a bunch of these Raging Heroes, which I think is the brand miniatures, at an auction like a year or two ago. No one was bidding on them. There were bags of a bunch of them for like $2. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll take a chance. I think I spent $24, so I got a bunch of different baggies of these. And I think they're like someone in the UK, I think, makes a bunch of miniatures for different games. I'm not sure if it's like their own game or if you can just use them for anything else. And I think it's mostly female, like characters. I think they're all like female. So these are 3 female like sci-fi sniper miniatures, $15.99. All right. Next up is going to be these 2 books. These are going to be, haven't read them, Thieves World, Book 8 and 9. Book 8 is Soul of the City. Book 9 is Blood Ties. So some kind of fantasy novels right here. They look like pretty cool, interesting art, and they have like shiny words on the front. But other than that, we get a bunch of books for cheap all the time. So it'll be like military ones and then like fantasy ones and sometimes sci-fi ones. These end up going for $12, which is pretty good for 2 books, like $6 each when we get them relatively cheap. All right, next up is something I normally don't deal with. I accidentally got this. This is going to be Upper Deck. You probably can't see it because it's going to be one of those holograms that's like you have to like wiggle it to see, almost like a lenticular almost. Upper Deck Michael Jordan's journal, Chicago Bulls 95-96 card right here, like a foil card. So yeah, I don't know anything about sports cards. I do know that they are the most popular card category. You can get a ton of money for them. It's like sports cards, and it way down here is Pokemon, which is still popular, and then probably like Magic, and then Yu-Gi-Oh, and then it kind of spreads out from underneath there, depending on like if someone's into like Lorcana or Flesh and Blood or Star Wars Unlimited, there or One Piece. There's a bunch of card games. Dragon Ball Z. All right. So yeah, I just got a couple of random sports cards along like another lot that had like more fantasy and card game cards. So just randomly got a Michael Jordan card, $8. All right, last up is going to be this. There are a lot of 16. These are like, I put them as like wilderness, little tiny. I think they're like 6 millimeter. They're going to be these fancy miniatures. They have a shield and like a spear, and then they have like their like animal coats or whatever, fur as their like helmets, and then their shawl on their back. But yeah, just tiny little, maybe used for like RPG or something, or someone's gonna use them for some kind of setup, or they just want to paint them. But yeah, oh, I put 10 millimeters. There you go. They're not 6 millimeters, they're 10 millimeters. So I just looked at my listing, $8.74. This one was interesting in the storage unit because I remember I got a bunch of these tiny miniatures and I filled up like a whole box like this. And then when I pulled this one today, I realized, because this was from a bit ago, there's only a couple of them left. So they have mostly all sold. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our links down below. Have a good weekend.